Another sinkhole shuts down a busy roadway in the Villages. Police chief warns of bad actors passing through the Villages. Golf cart drivers, you're reminded to stay off of Rolling Acres Road. Villagers in Sumter County should see a slightly lower tax rate. A caretaker for a villager with dementia escapes prosecution in a theft case. A 2-week detour announced at tunnel damaged by a sinkhole. A Honduran driving on Illinois' license arrested in the Villages. Villager that was convicted of a sex crime is jailed after violating his probation. A non-citizen from India is to avoid prosecution in an election fraud case. No holes in ones of golf reported this week. Letters to the editor. This and more. Coming up. Well, we got a few updates this week. Let's try to get them out of the way. I'll just take them in order. A villager who has been convicted of a sex crime earlier this year has landed back behind bars after violating his probation. Timothy Allen Burke, 65, of the village of Dunedin, was booked without bond Tuesday at the Sumter County Detention Center. Burke entered a plea of no contest in June in Sumter County Court to a single charge of possession of child pornography. The New Jersey native was ordered to register as a sex offender and placed on probation for 3 years. He also was ordered to complete a sex offender treatment program and forbidden from having unsupervised contact with minor children. As part of his probation, he cannot possess a phone, computer, tablet, or gaming system with internet capability. A search warrant was executed on January 10 at his home at 1171 Badger Street. Detectives assigned a child exploitation investigation and who are members of the Internet Crimes Against Children Federal Task Force received information that an individual residing at the address was uploading child pornography. Burke has owned a home since 2015. The image uploaded appeared to be a child under the age of 10. After an extensive investigation, probable cause was developed to obtain a search warrant, according to Sumter County Sheriff's Office. A search of his computer turned up an image which depicted 2 children under the age of 10 engaged in sexual activity with each other. That's his update. Back in jail. Keep him there. Sinkhole update. A 2-week detour has been announced for repairs at a tunnel in the Villages damaged by a sinkhole. District Property Management will be performing maintenance beginning Monday, July 22 at Tunnel M18 located north of the intersection of Morris Boulevard and Megason Road. The project is expected to last approximately 2 weeks, weather and unforeseen circumstances permitting. The multimodal path crossing through the tunnel will be closed to all traffic during the duration of the project. That's the sinkhole update in the tunnel. And here's a voter fraud update. A non-citizen from India will avoid prosecution in an election fraud case in Sumter County. Mr. Patel, 59, who lives in the Triumph development in Wildwood, this past week in Sumter County Court agreed to enter into a pretrial intervention contract to avoid prosecution on a felony charge of election fraud. He has agreed to pay fines and perform 50 hours of community service. Patel applied to register to vote with the Sumter County Supervisor of Elections Office. He obtained a voter registration card and used it to apply for a driver's license at Sumter County Tax Collector's Office. The tax collector's office sent a copy of Patel's permanent resident card to the elections office, which launched an investigation. The local complaint was forwarded to the general counsel for the Florida Department of State in Tallahassee. There have been a number of voter fraud cases in Sumter County, and they have, and most of them has been American citizens committing to voter fraud here. Here's another update of a caretaker. Be aware. A caretaker who had been accused of ripping off a villager with dementia has escaped prosecution in the case. The prosecutor's office announced this past month in Lake County Court that 30-year-old Kathleen Marie Hare of Bellevue will not face prosecution on charges of fraud and grand theft. There is insufficient evidence to establish these charges beyond a reasonable doubt, State Attorney William Gladson said in the announcement of no information. Hare had been hired through Assisting Hands to work for a woman living in the village of Pine Ridge, according to the affidavit of probable cause on file at Lake County Court. And that's her updates. A Wisconsin snowbird who was arrested earlier this year after drinking beer and then driving a golf cart has gotten a break in court in a drunk driving case. John Rubit, 68, of Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin, has been placed on probation for 6 months after pleading no contest this past week in Sumter County Court to a charge of reckless driving, reduced from a charge of driving under the influence. He also pleaded no contest to charges of possession of marijuana and possession of drug equipment. That's his update. All right, let's get on to some new news. Here's a warning from our police chief in Lady Lake. The police chief in Lady Lake has warned officials of bad actors passing through the villages. Chief Stephen Hunt this past week issued the warning when he spoke before the Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors at Savannah Center. There are dangerous people within our community. The longtime law enforcement officer warned there are some very bad actors traveling the 441-27, the Orange Blossom Trail corridor. It is imperative we train to the highest level possible in order to answer the call in the appropriate manner. I truly believe it is not a matter of if, but a matter of when. He pointed to another homicide which occurred recently in Leesburg. We hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst, Hunt added. And I believe he's exactly 100% correct. We have so many illegals in this country, we don't know who they are. People are lying. You see it on the report every day down here. People with no driver's license. They have identity cards or they have a passport from some country. We're arresting them and then we release them. An out-of-towner was arrested after admittedly drinking and partying at a town square in the Villages. Louis Allen Krecklich, 67, of Simpsonville, South Carolina, was found in a black 2014 Kia Cadezza at about 12:40 a.m. Sunday, improperly parked at Seabreeze Recreation Center, according to the arrest report of Sumter County Sheriff's Office. You get that? Improperly parked. We make fun of the bad parking, but sometimes that's what gets you caught. When a deputy approached the vehicle, the overwhelming odor of alcoholic beverage was immediately noticeable coming from the inside of the vehicle. The deputy could overhear Krecklich talking on the phone with his brother. "The popo has got me and I'm probably going to jail," he said. Krecklich told deputies he had been drinking and partying at Lake Sumter Landing. He agreed to participate in field sobriety exercises, but his poor performance led deputies to conclude he had been driving impaired. He refused to provide a breath sample. An open plastic bottle of Jim Beam whiskey has been found in his vehicle. Plastic bottle of whiskey? Well, that's disgusting. Krecklich was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. The popo. A sinkhole has shut down a busy roadway Saturday in the Villages. A crew was dispatched to patch the sinkhole, which opened up in the golf cart lane of Southern Trace between Williams Road and Woodridge Drive. This is a different sinkhole than the one that was in the tunnel. Southern Trace runs from Buena Vista Boulevard at the Village of Polo Ridge entrance gate to Southern Trace Plaza and carries a high volume of traffic. In June, a sinkhole shut down a section of Canal Street, another busy thoroughfare in the Villages. Yeah, we actually looked at buying a house up there, and then, like I've warned everybody about Cut-Through Street, and when I found out from one end to the other, we were a lot newer than we are now. I didn't know where the roads actually went, and after I got to checking where future building was going to be and where Southern Trace started, I could see right there a lot of the locals, not village residents, but locals, are going to use that road as a shortcut to get to a shopping center. So we decided not to buy there. A resident of the Villages was arrested after fentanyl was found in the Lincoln he was driving. Joseph Jean Fitzpatrick, 24, who lives in McLaren Terrace in the village of Calumet Grove, was at the Sky Vape Shop on 301 on Sunday morning when a store clerk reported that he had referenced fentanyl, according to a arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. Fitzpatrick was found in the vehicle in the parking lot of the vape shop. He was sweating profusely and told the officer he did not want to go to jail. He gave the officer permission to search the vehicle, leading to the discovery of fentanyl. He was taken into custody, booked at the Sumter County Detention Center, and was released after posting a $3,000 bond. Yeah, it just seems to me that basically what our legal system is saying, it's okay to do this if you pay us enough money, right? Give me $3,000, we'll let you go. You get caught again? Give me $4,000, we'll let you go. How many times do you get caught before you finally just say that's enough? A man from Honduras driving on an Illinois driver's license landed in jail after a traffic stop in the Villages. Carlos Oswaldo Ruiz, 53, of Orlando, was driving a brown Chevrolet pickup with suspicious tinted windows when an officer initiated a traffic stop at about 4 p.m. Thursday near the village of Water Edge, according to an arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. Water's Edge must be a new village. I've never heard of it. During the traffic stop, Ruiz presented the officer with an Illinois driver's license. He claimed he did not know the heavily tinted windows were in violation of the law. Well, if you've been in the United States long enough, how do you not know that? The officer found that the Honduran native's Florida driver's license had been indefinitely canceled, and he had been convicted of driving while license suspended twice in Lake County, both in 2022. He had also been convicted of driving while license suspended in 2017 in Orange County. Well, then my question is where did he get the Illinois driver's license? Right here it says, during the traffic stop, Perez presented the officer with an Illinois driver's license. Something's not adding up there. We've had another fish kill. We get them, it seems like every year. The last time we had a major fish killed in some of our ponds was because of heavy rainfall and because of chemicals that people had used in their yard that's close to these ponds. Heavy rainfall washed a lot of that into the ponds, which killed something in the pond, I forget. Then algae started to grow, and then that took the oxygen out of the water, which killed the fish. So let's see what it says now. Heavy rain and a subsequent change in water temperature are being blamed for a fish kill at a pond in the Villages. The dead fish were floating in the pond at Drake Drive near the entrance of the village of Pine Ridge off of County Road 466A. District Property Management reported that the cause of the fish kill was a drastic change in the temperature due to significant rain event. Vultures and other birds quickly swept in and took advantage of the fish. Well, first of all, District Property Management, I don't think that they have anything to do with the conservation of wildlife whatsoever, so I don't think they have the proper knowledge or the proper equipment to say that. I think Fish and Wildlife should be called in to check it out. A resident of the Villages was arrested after he skipped out on a bill for drinks at City Fire. Devin Skian, 24, who lives in the village of Bradford, was taken into custody Monday night at the City Fire restaurant at Brownwood Paddock Square. You guys see a pattern here? Young people living here, trouble, theft, all kinds of stuff. And we're a retirement community of 55 plus. Why are these young people here? And let me just say this, and I'm not going to get into it again because I've explained it at least 20 times in the past. It's not the 80-20 rule that allows him to live here. None. What it is he probably lives with his parents or he's renting a house because we have no rule about renting a house. Truthfully, 19 and older, you can live here full time if you rent a house or live with your parents. But what I'm telling you is the 80-20 rule does not say 20% of a total population can be under the age of 19. That is not what the rule says. That's not what the rule stands for. That's not what the rule was even enacted for way back when. I can tell you, but I'm not going to anymore. I'm tired of explaining this. So you go ahead and believe what you want, because the day's going to come that this 80-20 rule is going to start biting people in the ass. The Connecticut native consumed a Crown Royal whiskey drink and a Budweiser beer, but attempted to leave the restaurant without paying his $15.72 tab, according to the arrest report of Wildwood Police Department. Well, why should he? He's probably had mom and daddy, so he took care of that for him. He was arrested and booked to Sumter County Detention Center on a $500 bond. In May, Skian had been arrested after drinking at Cody's at Brownwood and leaving without paying his bill. That case is still pending in Sumter County Court. He's just a thief. That's all he is. He's a thief. A bogus temporary tag led to the arrest of a driver in the Villages. We're just going to call this guy Owen. I'll put his name in the picture. Owen, 24, was driving a vehicle when he was pulled over at 10:46 a.m. Monday in the vicinity of Marsh Bend Trail and Corbin Trail near the village of Linden, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. An officer asked Owen about the vehicle's suspicious-looking temporary tag, and he admitted he had purchased it on Facebook Marketplace for $80. What an idiot. I bought my temporary tag on Facebook. You can do that, right? A search of the vehicle identification number showed the vehicle had last been registered in Texas. Tells you a lot. Owen had a California driver's license. Sumter County, how come you're not enforcing the law? But admitted he has been living and working in Florida for more than a year. He can't prove any of that. Border Patrol agency is where he would go. He was arrested on a charge of possession of a counterfeit tag and a non-resident requirement. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $2,650 bond. Why? He should be turned over to Border Protection Agency. That's what the law says. That's what DeSantis signed into bill. Why won't the sheriff of Sumter County enforce this? I'll keep questioning it till I get an answer. An uninsured driver from Venezuela was arrested after a traffic stop in the southern end of the Villages. Alex Rafael Cardoza Duran, 37, was driving a gray Dodge passenger car with an expired Illinois tag. Well, again, here's the Illinois coming into it again. What are you doing up here, Illinois? When he was pulled over at 12:41 p.m. Monday in the area of Central Parkway and Bexley Trail, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. There was a small child in the back seat, not in a required safety seat. When asked the child's age, Cardoza Duran held up 3 fingers. He understood the question, but he can't say the word 3. He presented an officer with an Illinois identification card, but did not have a passport or driver's license. He said he paid cash for the vehicle and did not have a bill of sale or any other documents. He was unable to provide proof of insurance. He was arrested on charges of driving without a license, failure to provide insurance, and failure to register a motor vehicle. About illegal entry to the United States, because that's what he is. You know it and I know it. He was also ticketed for the child safety seat infraction. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $450 bond. Now think about this. No driver's license, no insurance. The vehicle is not registered. Child protection services should be involved because there's, child endangerment in the backseat of this car. And he only gets a $450 bond. I don't know what happened to the child. I don't know if he went to jail. I don't know if the car got impounded. I don't know if border agencies were notified. I don't know anything. This all sounds bogus, doesn't it? It just don't even make sense to me. A native New Yorker with numerous driving offenses in New Jersey was arrested in the Villages. Paul William Sepulveda, 52, was born in Brooklyn and currently lists an address at Champions Gate in Florida. Was at the wheel of a maroon Ram pickup hauling a camper at about 3 a.m. Tuesday in the area of Central Parkway and Bexley Trail when he was pulled over for a non-functioning taillight, according to the arrest report of Wildwood Police Department. Sepulveda handed the officer a Florida identification card and claimed he had a valid driver's license, but said he had forgotten it. Nobody forgets their driver's license. Come on, people. A check with dispatch revealed Sepulveda has been classified as a habitual traffic offender in the state of Florida. In addition, he was convicted 8 times between 2004 and 2016 of driving while license suspended in New Jersey. He was arrested on a felony charge of driving while a habitual traffic offender. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $4,750 bond. Man, our court system, our legal system down here really needs to be updated. Villagers in Sumter County should see slightly lower tax rate. Sumter County's proposed $378.3 million budget would cut property taxes for non-villages residents by a penny per $1,000 assessed valuation due to a new fire and emergency medical services tax. The budget calls for a tax rate cut to $4.89 per 1,000 assessed valuation, down from $5.19 last year and slightly below the rollback rate. The rollback rate is the amount needed to collect the same revenue as the prior year, excluding new construction. But a new property tax for fire and emergency medical services would add 29 cents per $1,000 to the tax rate, bringing it to $5.18, a penny less than this year. Commissioners will review the proposed budget at workshop meetings Tuesday and Wednesday. Final approval is scheduled in late September after 2 public hearings. The budget takes effect October 1. Villages residents would pay a lower tax rate in county property taxes. In addition to $4.89 per 1,000 assessed valuation, Villages residents would pay under 3 cents per $1,000 for support of fire and ambulance services of the Villages Public Safety Department. Both departments also will be supported by per parcel fire assessment fees. Total expenditures in the county budget would be down 2.2% from $386.8 million last year. The general fund, which has 78 revenue sources including property taxes, is down $15 million to $173.6 million. With the fourth lowest basic tax rate among Florida counties, Sumter County expects to collect $103.4 million in property taxes next year, up about 2% from this year. More funding will allow both fire departments will restore some of the severe cuts made last year after a public outcry over high fire assessment fees last year limited them to $125 per partial. The Sumter County Fire Department plans to add 29 positions and would begin recovering an 8.75% cost of living increase the following year. Firefighters agreed last year to postpone the increase to avoid layoffs. Besides a residential fire assessment of $355, to the non-village's fee would range from 21 cents to 36 cents per square foot for commercial, industrial, and other property. A public hearing is scheduled for September 17th on potential fire impact fees for service in the western portion of Wildwood, where a new fire station is planned. Besides firefighter positions, the budget would add 16 sheriff's deputies, bringing the total to 416. 5 animal control technicians would be added along with 4 tax collector employees and 2 clerk of courts employees. The $60 million proposed sheriff's budget is the county's largest, up 6.9% from this year. Major capital projects would include replacement of the computer-aided dispatch equipment and programming in the Emergency Communications Center and creation of an animal resource center that would separate intake from adoptions. A cleaning lady was arrested after allegedly stealing pain pills at a home in the Villages. A woman who lives in the village of Silver Lake said her regular cleaning lady came to her home on July the 11th and brought along a helper, 52-year-old Sheila Bradner of Inverness, according to the arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department. The cleaning lady showed up at about 9:45 a.m. that day, and the homeowner left at about 10:15 for a doctor's appointment. The cleaning lady later texted the homeowner to make her aware that Bradner was assisting her. When the homeowner returned to her residence, the cleaning crew was gone. She later discovered that 11.5 Vicodin pills were missing, as well as 15 tizanidine pills. I don't know what that is. The homeowner phoned her cleaning lady, who immediately returned to the home with Bradner. When the homeowner indicated her pills were missing, Bradner offered to give the homeowner her Vicodin pills. Bradner had the pills wrapped in a paper towel, and they were the same brand and dosage as the missing pills. The homeowner, who signed an intent to prosecute form, said she had never had a problem with her cleaning lady until the helper showed up. Bradner was arrested on charges of theft of a controlled substance and possession of a controlled substance. The Delaware native was booked at the Lake County Jail on a $5,000 bond. Lady Lake Police are reminding golf cart drivers to stay off of Rolling Acres Road. This past week, the Amenity Authority Committee in the village has discussed the multimodal access point off Palermo Place in the village of Valle Verde, accessible via the Rolling Acres Sports Complex. The AAC agreed to keep open the access point, a favorite of residents of the Recreation Plantation on County Road 466 in Lady Lake. Members of the AAC said that enforcement of the golf cart traffic crossing Rolling Acres Road is a matter for the Lady Lake Police Department. That prompted Police Chief Stephen Hunt to offer a reminder to those using golf carts in the vicinity of Rolling Acres Road. A reminder that traditional golf carts cannot be on any roads that are not designated as golf cart roads, and currently Rolling Acres Road is not, the chief said. He added that no motorized vehicles of any type are allowed on any sidewalk. Low-speed vehicles that are properly registered can drive on any road that is posted 35 miles an hour or less. Bottom line, if you are not a registered street-legal low-speed vehicle, stay off the road, the chief said. You have been duly warned once again. How about a couple letters to the editor? To the editor, this for sure wasn't Harold Schwartz's dream years ago. His family has gotten so selfish and money has become more important than the dream. We moved here from New Jersey to get away from what the Villages has become. It's so very sad, but I'm happy I have gotten some special people from living there, but we have moved outside the Villages now. We are very happy with our decision. That's sent in by Donna Wishart, formerly from the village of Liberty Park. Well, Donna, you got to do what you got to do. If you're anything like me, I've been coming here for about 30 years, so I've seen what it once was. I actually met Harold a couple of times at Spanish Springs Town Square. You know how I used to roam around, shake everybody's hand. I've seen what it once was. I've seen where it is today, and I can see where it's going. And like you, I'm not happy with it. I don't know anywhere else better to go, but I'm not happy with it. But that's just the way it is. That's my choice too. Move out or stay here. And so far I'm staying here. I'm not sure my wife will let me move. To the editor, we moved to the Villages in 2006. Our purchase and sales agreement says amenity was approximately $122 a month, and if they do go up, it wouldn't be more than 3% a year, and the fee was capped at $150 a month, and we would never have to pay more. Today it is $190.48 a month. How can an agreement just be voided like that? Is a P&S a legal document? We don't own an elaborate home, it's a villa. Why am I being told a developer can do or change whatever they want? We have a legal, signed document. That's sent in by George Reedy from the Village of Sable Chase. Well, George, we have district supervisors, and you have your district supervisors that you guys elected in office. The PWAC and the ACC and all that garbage got together, had meetings. Your district had meetings also. I'm sure every resident up there said that they didn't want the cap to come off. They wanted to stay there. But your elected officials and mine, and my elected official was Don Wiley. This is why I would never vote for him to be a commissioner, because he's in somebody's hip pocket. It didn't make sense why they would take it off, but they all did. They all voted to take it off. And we elected those people to represent us, but they took it off. And I said then, this is a mistake. It's a mistake. Now everybody wants to put back on. It probably ain't going to happen because there's an argument between the North and the South here, like the Civil War. And if the two don't agree, it's not going to happen. So I don't know what to tell you. We did this to ourselves. Well, there you have it. I think that's going to be the news for this week. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoy bringing it to you. If you have any suggestions about the news, something that I could add, or maybe something I need to take away, just let me know. But as always, I dedicate my news to my Patreon members. If it weren't for them, I couldn't do this. It's just that simple. I just wouldn't do it. But I've got a lot of new Patreon members within the last couple of weeks. Appreciate every one of you. I hope I got your name on the thank you list. Sometimes it takes a couple, 3 weeks before I can get that in there. So just be patient. If you don't see your name, it will be in there. And let me just say, the names that I use on that thank you list are the names that you put on your Patreon accounts. So that'll be the news for this week, and I guess I'll see you all on the next porch setting. With that being said, be safe, be well, take care, be aware, and as always, I'll see you on the other side.
And don't leave that key in the golf cart.
This week's news is brought to you by my Patreon and YouTube members. Thanks, guys. You're the best.